So a fundamental phrase in Project 2025 was seal the border. We need to seal the border. They used that phrase a number of times. And I tried to warn Americans then in my writings. The Heritage Foundation is writing this document. They also believe that they need to keep all worldly influences. I mean, they are an Opus Dei Catholic-controlled Christian nationalist part of this. And they also believe they need to keep all worldly influences out of traditional American life and values. So, sealing the border means something very different from we just need to keep immigrants out. I said then, seal means nothing goes in and nothing comes out. It goes both ways. When you seal a plastic bag, it's sealed because you're trapping things in it and you're keeping things out of it. So every step that they've taken to attack our freedom of movement, and they've done a number of them that haven't been covered. But in Mark Wayne Mullen's confirmation hearing, he mentioned doing this. And I said then, he's going to do that. And that was in April. And everybody was like, oh, Andra, you're insane. This is crazy. You're crazy talk. You're hysterical. I can't tell anybody this and get them to listen to you because they'll think you're just so mad. And so even on Monday, when I wrote about this and said, okay, he's saying this again, the Atlantic's reporting it, he's meeting with people and talking about it, I had readers who were saying, I believe you, but I can't tell anybody in my group this because they won't believe you. They'll just think you're hysterical. And since that came out, multiple outlets have picked it up and he started talking about it more. And suddenly people are like, oh, maybe this is a thing. So one of the things that I want to say about someone like Mark Wayne Mullen, as a Southerner, as someone who lived in the Southern United States almost my whole life, it's very easy to take someone like him and say he's an idiot. It's the way he talks, the way he doesn't seem to know things that he should know, especially in a position like he has. It's very, very easy to think that you don't need to take someone like him seriously. And I'm going to tell you, it is a Southern male trait. I had clients who did it when I had a firm and worked with them, who would go into rooms full of people who weren't Southern and, spit their chew and go, and act like they were stupid. And they would take that room full of people to the cleaners. So you have to take people like him seriously, even as he's performing. And I don't know whether it's a performance or not. I've just known a lot of men like him. And so, I would suggest that he is leaning into that persona to get people outside of that realm to not take him seriously. Take him seriously. Don't make fun of him. He may be doing a lot more with that than you realize.
And, for what it's worth, I think you can be strategically effective and still stupid, right?
Exactly.
I think you can have bad ideas.
Exactly.
And be really good at implementing them. And I also think, at best, or maybe at worst, I don't know, his stupidity is a little bit like rust on a steel beam. It protects the interior stupidity of that beam, right? The rust looks like damage, but it's not. It's actually a protective layer supporting the internal stupidity of his ideas. And I think that's one reason none of us believe this stuff. And none of us believed Trump would invade Iran because it's stupid, right? None of us believed he would go into Greenland, and he still may, because it's dumb, right? The tariffs, so dumb. ICE invading American cities, that is ridiculous. It is the dumbest thing. And so none of us believe that's going to happen because it defies reason. And this move to close the borders, or essentially to functionally close the borders from international travel, is stupid because it will, as you've written, cause crazy chaos. but for him, the logistics don't matter. It's not the economy, not the hundreds of thousands of stranded travelers, not World Cup. So why doesn't any of this register as a reason to stop? And then I want to talk about what actually functionally this will look like if this goes through.
Someone like Markwayne Mullin doesn't, if you're a city elder, if you're in a dominionist white Christian nationalist 7 Mountain mandate, he's probably an apostle in that movement. They don't tell you usually what level they're at in it.
What does that mean, apostle? Like super high up?
Yes, and God speaks through them. It's violating the second commandment. They're making themselves as gods. They say God speaks through them. When Paula White Cain speaks in tongues, that's what she's doing.
Right.
And so that's what that means. And they believe it. I don't want to diminish it, but he may be one of those even.
Gotcha.
So the importance to someone like that in a decision like closing the border is nothing to do with this world, that we have to get back to worldliness and the world. He exists on a spiritual realm. And so that spiritual realm is what's important to him. The economy is not important to him. How it will impact the economies of these cities, he wants it to impact the economies of these cities badly. It's part of punishing who he believes are heretics and infidels. So, that's part of it, but he doesn't care how that impacts the people there or anywhere else, because if you close an airport like Newark, it's not just going to impact Newark. It's a vein. It trickles out all over the country.
Sure.
So
it's
going
an
to
entry
impact.
point. When people go to Pennsylvania or New Jersey or New Hampshire or Delaware, they go to a major airport. That's how people enter the country.
It's going to impact everyone. And he doesn't care about that either. And he's not just talking about people. He's talking about cargo.
Yeah.
So you think about all the things that have to get flown through these establishments and be inspected. He's also talking about that. So it's limiting what you're ordering, what you can get into the country. We already have shortages because of tariffs. We already have precarious situations in certain supply chains. And that is aggravating that also. And he doesn't care about that either. Accomplishing his mission to make the United States holier and more godly and more like his vision of what it should be is more important than how many people suffer. It's more important than how much money is lost. It's more important by how many people are inconvenienced. All that matters to a person like Markwayne Mullin is, I am making the world look like I believe it should to prepare for Jesus' return.
Yeah.
That's it.